Hello and welcome to Efficient Strategy Gaming. Today we're going to be playing the Soviet Union on Elite Iron Man mode with historical AI, so let's get into it. As you can see, I've done a few practice runs here. I think about 10 or 20, I don't know. But I'm going to show you guys today a starting guide here. And then we're going to follow the series and see how far we can get. See how much territory we can conquer. Notice that I'm going to skip construction here. We're not going to focus on construction so much. Reason being is we're going to steal civs and military factories from our neighbors and allow them to focus on construction for us. I'm looking at all the 70 spots. It should be Stalingrad, Kharkov, Kiev. And I'm going to upgrade mills there first. And then now we're looking for 60% infrastructure areas. And we're going to upgrade Magnestock? Is that what that's called? And this area here, Orel, because they have a lot of iron, we're going to need a lot of iron. Put exactly 29 into your infantry equipment. Get rid of your support equipment. Take tanks, trucks down to 1. Tanks, trucks, and artillery. And then we're going to bring back those production lines once they have nothing in them. And I've thought about this quite a bit, and to make the best build for you guys, we're not going to do anti-air. Reason being that the Soviet Union starts with a large quantity of tanks, and you get them like right off the bat, as you'll see. So the tanks provide you with enough piercing, so I don't think that I'm going to need piercing. I don't think that we're going to go anti-air. Here's the fairly sizable Soviet Union focus tree, and after a lot of trial and error, I found out that the best way to go is Stalinist constitution. That's going to give us political power. We go free trade right away. And then we're going to go collectivist propaganda, which gives us that 20% stability. And you're going to see that that's going to provide us with a lot of factory output, that stability. And then we're going to go Great Purge. Okay, to easily set up your units, you're going to go Shift, left click, drop them all into an army. Double tap the individual type of units, gives you all the units in that army that are of the same division template. And we can start building these out here. The problem that I've been having is that my generals are not upgrading their panzer skills. We're just going to make everything the standard USSR division there. And then we're going to cut each division in half. Let's select all, then cut them in half. And do that again. And over here as well. So rookie move on my part. I was putting way too many. Let's see here. We're going to go with Georgy Kulik as the field marshal of the infantry divisions. So I was not concentrating my armor into armies enough. And so that was not upgrading the correct traits. So the important part about this build is that you guys follow what generals I pick exactly, because when we go through the Great Purge, I want you to have these exact generals available, because some of them will be purged off. So you have this great big list of generals here, but some of them are going to be gone because of the Great Purge. You kind of have to go the Great Purge, or you're going to basically have a civil war and it's not going to be that great. You're going to suffer a lot from the Civil War. Okay, so let's look at these tank armies. So in order to upgrade Panzer Leader, I'm going to need armored ratio 40% or higher. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to make it 50%. We've got 6 tanks here, so I can have 12 units in this division. So I need to get rid of 5 of these cavalry. And then over here, we're going to need 10 because I have 5 armored divisions. Okay, and we'll just take off some of the excess here, make an additional army. I think that this guy gets purged off. Mainly the guys in the green suits are the ones up for purging. The ones in the brown uniforms typically don't get purged. We see if we have anyone. This guy does not get purged, and he has Trickster, so I'm going to have a little recon division here for him. Everyone's going to line up against Poland, and we are going to invade Poland first. Reason being that of the majors that are available for us to invade, Poland is the largest. It provides the most military and civilian factories and a fair amount of resources, as opposed to Romania. Romania obviously has a lot more resources, but economically is not as well suited. We're just going to go all on field martial orders here. And you guys have to set this up almost exactly as I'm doing. You can see that there's bog areas here. Never put your tanks into bog areas. And if you start them off over here, there's bog areas that they're going to go through over here. So my thinking is to start them off in the south and then just head up towards Danzig. Usually the capital goes from like Warsaw to Krakow to Poznan to Danzig, something like that. We're not going to be building any new divisions there. Okay, let's set up the Navy. So the Navy now, I'm just going to like left click and then right click to get these guys together. Oops, I did that wrong. I'm going to merge these two navies right here. And so then you're going to have a navy that's up here in Leningrad, and then you're going to have a navy that's in the Black Sea. The Black Sea Navy is actually stuck there. So if you guys have played the Soviet Union before, you know that. And the two naval commanders, the two admirals, are going to be Gorshkov and Golovko. Those are going to be the two there that won't get purged off the way I'm doing this. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is make sure that all of these production lines are going to go into, that was the wrong navy, the Baltic Fleet Navy. It's going to be so important that we keep the pride of the fleet alive. So all these different types, except for the subs, need to go into that main battle fleet. Another important point here is the more expensive sub, we're not going to be producing. We're actually just going to be producing this one steel sub here. And we'll send it to the smallest sub fleet I have in the Baltic. In my testing, I took these sub fleets out from Archangel out into the mid Atlantic here, and they just got sacked off by the English Navy. So there was really no point to it. So I'm just going to leave them in the Baltic. There is a very good point to that, because the Germans, when we go for Germany, so I gave it away there. When we go for Germany, we're going to go Poland, Germany. The Germans will try a lot of amphibious attacks. Very uncharacteristic for the Germans. But that's going to be to our advantage. So we have 3 service lines here that are going to be on infinite, and then the rest we'll just build these out and they'll go into our fleets. So this is how we're producing here. We're not using, the only templates we're using are the cavalry, vanilla cavalry there. You can see there's no support equipment in this base template. We'll upgrade that later. And then the motorized infantry template is pretty weak for the Soviets starting off. It's only a combat width of 12, no support equipment. I know you guys like to see the templates. Okay, so from there, we're going to start rolling. So they'll move up to the line, and then everything over here in Vladivostok has to come over. I've also tried this with putting the Air Force into, like, letting the generals basically control the Air Force, and it is a mess. Don't do that. You're not going to get the same results that I get, I guarantee you 100%. It is absolutely a shit show. The AI does not do a great job. Like, you'll sit there for like a week before the planes actually give you air superiority where you're attacking. That's just unacceptable for this build. Let's take the seaplanes back up here to Leningrad. Did I miss something? Oh, there's the other ones. There's not going to be a lot of action in the Baltic Sea, so you're not going to have to worry about that too much. Okay. Question that I had the other day was, do general traits affect, do field marshal traits that are specifically under the general traits still affect the army? So like if I gave this guy, get back to that in a minute, if I gave this guy infantry expert, would it affect the rest of his army? To the best of my knowledge, it does. It seems to do that if you go on the Paradox wiki. The only general trait that does not proc as a field marshal is skilled staffer, and it says that on the wiki. But supposedly, if this guy's a field marshal, everyone else in this army group, because these are individual armies, this is an army group, will benefit from this field marshal's general trait. I'm going to give this, if that's not correct, please correct me in the comments below, because I'd like the answer to that. My understanding when this Waking the Tiger first came out was that these general traits, if used by a field marshal, would only be assessed at half. So if this is 15%, it'll be 7.5% bonus. So please give me more info in the comments below. All right. Organization first, and then we're going to go aggressive assaulter when that guy upgrades. That's what I'm going to do every time with my field marshals. We are not going to have the best air superiority. That's why I'm going to go camouflage expert with this gentleman right here, because it reduces your air superiority bonus in combat, but you get plus 50% damage reduction. And the Germans will have Stukas, and Poland does have CAS. So we have to be aware of that. This field marshal right here is like, he might be one of the best in the game. I'm going to give him organization first, then aggressive assaulter. He's got that attack of 5. That's why he's leading the Panzer divisions. Free trade right off the bat. Going Stalin Constitution gives us enough political power to then do our first war goal. So you want to stop this as soon as you get this. And I mean like the hour of like this is sloppy. Go ahead and send that in. And then we're going to go Collectivist Propaganda. And we'll keep on organizing here. We're not going to be using this strategic bomber in Poland because all it's going to do is basically destroy things, and yeah, I don't want to have to rebuild that stuff. We're not focusing on construction at all, just to show you kind of what we're doing here. We will get civilian factories and military factories from Poland. Don't you worry. So we're going to be playing catch up. The other thing that I'm going to do is try to stay with this light tank 1 the whole game and modify it and upgrade it so that it's faster. I do not like the speed on light tank 1s. If you've watched any of my other videos, I like light tank 2s. So the speed is only 10 kilometers an hour, but I think we can upgrade that once I get some Army XP here. Okay, going to go straight for radio. So the other thing is going to be, why did I not go deep battle? So what is deep battle? Deep battle is part of the land doctrine, mass assault doctrine, and it's great. Like these bonuses that you get here, organization loss when moving is -25, and then organization bonuses, breakthrough bonuses, infantry combat width reduction. Like, it's great. But by the time I'm able to get down here, I'm hoping that we're having world peace at that time, because I've basically gone through and taken over most of the world. So I go mobile warfare doctrine because it gives me something that I can use for my tanks right off the bat. The plus 20% breakthrough, the division speed, the organization loss when moving, it's all great. And this mass assault doesn't really give me anything that I really need right off the bat. It's developed for the Soviet Union, who is in a defensive battle plan. We want to fight right off the bat. Keep that up. Okay, so collectivist propaganda. I forgot to show this to you guys, but where I was at was, in terms of stability, the factory output was probably -3 or 4, and now my factory output is +5, and that is because of collectivist propaganda, the stability. So that's basically like getting another free trade. This right here, I think you need to go for this every time if you're playing the Soviet Union. Every single time, go boom, boom. No matter what, it's the best thing that you can do for this focus tree. Getting 4 civilian factories is not going to matter. Getting 4 military factories in the long run, I'm going to go steal a ton of factories from other countries. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We go Great Purge next. And it's going to be very tempting to go civilian economy, but like I said, we're going to ignore construction. This is mainly going to boost the amount of civilian factories we have available to us. Instead, we're going to go to improve our stability. So let's look at this. Factory output +5%. Let's go ahead and get Kalinin stability +15. So we're at 5%. Boom. 11.2%. So you got a 5% factory output bonus just from that decision right there. If you improve your construction, you don't get any factory output bonus, and your equipment that you're building is not going to be as much by the time you go for Poland. Last point I'd like to make in this video. what we need to do is we need to invade Poland. But we need to wait until the Great Purge has completed before we capitulate Poland. So that means you're going to have a real good eye on this and not take capitals and just sit back and wait for the Great Purge to be accomplished. Always go concentrated industry if it's available. The reason why we need to wait is because we can only get down to lessons of war. So we're going to have like a lot of debuffs, just horrible debuffs. You can read through them later. The way you get rid of them is you get down to lessons of war, and that is going to remove the debuffs that you get from the Great Purge. So you have to go boom, 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 boom. And basically, if we have had a war since the Great Purge has ended, so that in other words we will have, because we'll still be at war with Poland, then we'll be able to get this focus tree badge. And from there, yeah, you remove all the debuffs, and you can invade Germany very easily. I have been able to successfully invade Germany, even though I had the Great Purge debuffs. So even if something goes wrong, don't worry about it. Keep playing. You'll be fine. You can attack Germany even with the Great Purge debuffs, and you still can take out Germany with this method. You have to follow everything that I did, though. You can't skimp on any one area. Even how I set up these battle plan lines are important. How I set up the Air Force is important. How I set up all these divisions with the different leaders, you have to be exact. But it can be done. For all you guys that have been supporting me for this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're going to get to the 1,000 subscribers soon. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing and drop me a like. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.